Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to Rhythm Flow Radio live stream right here on Meta Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. And today we have a great show lined up for you. We're hoping that everybody is having a happy Monday. And why don't I bring in Brother Raymond to lead us in prayer? I said that too soon before the broadcast. And then we'll find out what everybody did for the weekend, and then we'll get into the meat of the show. We're going to talk about the Tyre Nichols. We're going to talk about the video that has been released, and we're just going to give our opinions. So, hold on, and we're going to wait for Brother Raymond. And like I said, I want to welcome you to Rhythm Flow Radio live stream right here on Meta Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. Now I'm going to bring in Brother Raymond and let him do the prayer, and I'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of Opinions. I'm going to get right to it. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you. We ask that you continue to cover us in this tumultuous time. Lord, we ask that you guide us. Keep a head protection around us. Put your arm around us, our loving loved ones. Lord, we ask that you give a special prayer to the Nichols family and their time of bereavement on the loss of their son, Tyre Nichols. We ask all these things in your mighty precious son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, how are you today?
I'm fabulous. Fabulous.
Oh, I'm loving that background. NBA.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
Look like you got all the bulls back there.
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm right at home. My baby made the backdrop for me. I'm right on at home.
It's gorgeous. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh,
the awards.
I see Professor Dunn has joined us. Okay, let me bring him in.
Professor.
Good afternoon, my brother. Hey,
good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hey,
had to go around the world.
Weekend?
Well, it was a good weekend. Had to go around the world to get the broadcast this afternoon. My browser blocked us and threw me out and all of that good stuff. Yeah. I might even play a tune on the guitar for whatever reason. What's going on, Raymond?
How was your weekend, Raymond?
Well, I had a wonderful weekend. Me and the fiance, we went out to a wonderful concert. She had won tickets on a radio show, and this comedian was off the chain. He had us laughing nonstop. I'm talking about we laughed all night. It was fantastic. Never had heard of him either. Never had heard of him. A Filipino comedian.
Oh,
and he was off the chain. And he had packed. I'm talking about when I tell you Toyota Center was packed, it was nice and packed. They came out to see this brother. And now we know why. So, yeah. You know, the games was great too. The football games was fabulous. So, besides what happened with our brother Nicholas, everything was all right.
So you guys got a Super Bowl coming up, huh?
Oh, no question.
Yeah, definitely. So we can probably rejoin and do the Opinions Super Bowl special over there.
Oh yeah, because I'm letting my wings. I'm flying like an eagle.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a very special Super Bowl because it's the first time in history you have two African American quarterbacks.
Two. That's right.
Oh, really?
And yes. out of all the quarterbacks that have played professional ball, see, Doug Williams was the first African American to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
One from Grambling. As a matter of fact, I went to school with him, so I'm real proud to know that that he's probably out there rejoicing in fact that he opened the doors for a lot of brothers, man. And these two young brothers, We can't lose. Is all I'm going to say because African America, black men happen to be winning. Either way it goes, either one of the whichever one of the teams win, we're gonna win.
But you say it's a winner, huh?
Yes, because it's a large step in the industry when you got billionaires that have exclusively kept black quarterbacks out of the top position. And so all of that has kind of turned around. This is going to be a very serious turning point.
All right.
But then for my weekend was cool. It was spent reflecting on some things and actually going over some precursors that our clients have to know about, and we're trying to get people to come up to. A lot of people are having a whole lot of their money taken in wages without them knowing it, and they're paying taxes on it, but they're not receiving it in actuality. So maybe we need to do a show on that.
May consider that. May consider that. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's $187 million worth of stolen wages in the Chicago area.
Okay, so let's get into the meat of the show today. And it's about a young man, Tyre Nichols, who was stopped by the police. That is in Memphis. Am I right?
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped by the police in Memphis. Now, this is the killer. Do you know they still don't know why they stopped this young man? They're listen, they say they don't know why they stopped him. So, I've been doing some digging. Usually when the police stop you, don't they call in first?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they call in and they say, we're pursuing someone. I don't know how it go, but I've just been watching. What's that thing called? Cops and the other one. It's another one that comes on here, 48. So I've been
Yeah.
watching just to see how the procedure goes. Now, why are you pursuing somebody and you don't call in and tell them? Sounds like something instinctive. So here's a young African American man that works for FedEx, and he wants to be a photographer. And I did search, and I didn't find out. I didn't find out that he had a record. I found out basically I couldn't find nothing on his background. And when you're searching the internet, you have to be careful because I was looking under the correct name, but they will take you to a Terry Nichols, who is somebody totally different. But come to find out, Tyree did not have a record. Before you get to talking about the show, fellas, I want to share something that came off of Twitter, another social media app. I say, could this be the cliffhanger? I surely hope that I put it in there. Here it is right here. Now let me get my glasses so I can read this to you. This is an update. It says Tyre Nichols worked at FedEx, allegedly having sexual affairs with Officer Demetrius Haley's ex and his baby's mother, who also works at the same FedEx. Get this, Officer Haley was seen several times taking photos of Tyre after he was brutalized. And guess what? He sent them to her.
Wow. Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
So is this something more than just a traffic stop? Is this retaliation?
Definitely.
Yeah,
And
it's intended.
More people involved in those 5 officers.
Yeah.
And so I called Memphis and talked to Raymond Denton, who happens to be in law enforcement there in that area. I was going to try to invite her in as a commentator tonight in the show, but had some difficulties with the link trying to get them to her. She's at the Memphis International Airport right now. But she was telling me actually some very important things that were going on with the whole situation and with this young man and a number of officers. The white officers were not even put on the picture, but they were heard in the video. It was a white woman there and some other people who were involved in the actual apprehension or whatever. So it's a lot deeper than they're making it be. They kind of have community outrage, but maybe probably looking over some things that are going on with these black officers so quickly being dismissed and everything else, because they were in a special police unit called the Scorpion Unit. It was a crime unit. They've been having a lot of shootings and other things in the Memphis area, and so they organized these black units of officers to go around and infiltrate. Now, the problem I think is happening is there's nobody to police the police, because they're many of them are guilty of the complaints that are going in according to Rowena, is that some of these units are going into homes and robbing people and saying these folks are selling
Okay,
drugs.
but can we kind of stay on this topic
Yeah,
right now and then venture off into some of the other things that are happening in Memphis? But can we kind of?
I'm trying to tie into what she said. This probably came from that these units also use personal vendettas to attack people, and that's probably what the case was in this young man's case. Hopefully, I was trying to get in contact with her so she could give me some on-site details because she's right there in Memphis.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Katie.
Okay. My thing is, this young man was 29 years old. Like I said, he had no police record, none whatsoever, and he was gainfully employed.
Mm-hmm.
He was stopped. This man was given over 71 commands at one time. 71. Could you imagine 71 different commands coming at you at one time after you've been stopped? Which command do you follow? You're hitting 71 different things going through you. And then, why was he stopped? Let's talk about that.
Well, let's call it what it is. He wasn't stopped. He was tracked.
Yeah, he was.
Because as you stated earlier, it was some affiliation with these young ladies, and the young ladies was attracted to Tyre, and this so happened to be one of these officers' little fling, or maybe it's an old lady. And so he took offense to that. And as opposed to that, he's going to show him how it's done in Memphis, right? So now here's Tyreek, a natural-born citizen, and kid you not. Now this the kick, like you say, the kick is this: a young black man without a record, flawless.
Absolutely.
In the community, and now he got the girls. He working hard. He ain't robbing. He ain't stealing. He ain't selling dope. All of this over a young lady, right? Because the young lady had to be just as young as him for him to be interested in the first place. So that goes to show whichever one healed, what type of, where his mindset was and what he was on. Because I don't believe that was his wife at all. I believe that probably was his mistress, and Tyre was knocking off as well, and she kind of favored towards Tyre, and he didn't like that. And when he
Now, I,
found out about it, he tracked.
can I,
This is what they did. They
I
tracked
want to
this
put this
young
picture
man.
up for you of the
Uh,
girlfriend.
uh,
I want to put this picture up of the girlfriend.
Go ahead. Oh, okay.
This is him and the girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and this is him and his son.
Okay. And this baby.
Well, throw that out while you're talking. Go ahead.
Right. So, with that being said, they still, it was some infidelities going on, however it goes, right? So they messed with the young man, and they was at FedEx, and they was mingling, messing around, and the young lady kind of favored towards Tyre more, and somehow the officer found out. Now, this wasn't televised at first, because like Professor said, it was some things in the background that we didn't see, we didn't catch. Now, because you say 5 black officers,
5 black officers. You know the first thing that came into my head. So, police brutality. Maybe it's the way they're being trained.
Yeah, it's. But I'm saying now you say 5 black officers, as opposed to always being a white officer. So now it's a twist to this. It's a twist to this plot. So let me go. It's a twist to this plot, baby.
Well, I was waiting on it to come up, because I
No,
wanted somebody else.
that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. It was a twist
Yeah.
to it because it's
That's right.
It's black officers now.
Right.
It's not the white officers this time. And so now you have to ask yourself, what's really going on? What's really going on with this? Now for them, 5 of them. Now these 5 homeboys, as you can see, they all, like you say, Professor, you said they with the special unit for the police. These all homeboys, they run together. Yeah, in a minute.
Well, see, Raymond,
and so
if you and I go to a law enforcement unit and they deputize us or give us, the right to carry weapons or whatever, we're more than likely want to be around people who have our backs. So I wouldn't be surprised if this Scorpion unit winds up being almost like a police gang unit almost. And of course, that explains why he had so many people on the scene. Because whenever the call went out and they had the boy got stopped, all of the available units that were in that area probably converged on. And you've seen that happen a number of times when there have been people being stopped in communities or whatever. Carloads of police officers show up, while they're while they're interrogating whoever it is. And of course, that's probably what happened. And all of these guys that were there, all of them are probably affiliated or associated with each other closely some kind of way.
Yeah, so but it's so ironic, y'all, that now these 5 cats running, they hanging out, and all of a sudden, they all together on this one allegedly traffic stop, right?
Right.
Now, we ain't talked about Preston Hemphill, the white cop. We ain't talked about him yet.
No. And the white woman that was back there either.
Right. We talking about the 5 black officers, the homies that roll together, right?
Right.
Now they riding together, hanging out. So man, let's go get this dude here. Tracked him. That's how they found. They tracked this young man. This just no routine stop. They probably
they have
come from work or whatever.
Yeah, they have that's how they know they had the white woman. They have her audio saying she hoped they stomped his ass in the audio in the background. So they knew that cars were converging in that area. More than one car, actually.
All right. So it's like Tadarius Bean, and we talking about Demetrius Haley,
Yeah,
who had the affair, Emmett Martin III, Justin Smith, and Desmond Mill Jr., right? That's all them.
yeah,
There they go right there, right?
yeah.
They said representative of the Police Association, which represent rank and file officers, could not be immediately reached for comment today. Then they said the NAACP president, Derek Johnson, said he hopes that when the video is made public, it will push lawmakers to take decisive actions to reform police. Tell us what you're going to do to honor Tyre Nichols, Johnson said in a statement Thursday. Tell us what you're going to do to show his family, his loving son, and this entire nation that his life was not lost in vain. We can name all the victims of police violence, but we can't name a single law you have passed to address it. In a statement, the Reverend Al Sharpton, he said, police video was designed to make sure officers follow the law. There's no point putting a body camera on a cop if they're not going to hold them accountable when the footage shows them relentlessly beating a man to death. Firings are not enough. Incidents and arrests are not convictions. As we've done in the past with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and others, we will stand by his family until justice is done. A conviction sends a message to the nation that cops cannot hide behind their badge after committing a heinous act such as this. And, you know, and I can go on, you know, Lakia Boyd, you know, Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, 11 years old, Darius Pinex, you know, Ronnie Mann, Rashad McIntosh, you know, all these was victims of police brutality. And they get off scot-free, like a slap on the wrist, you know what I'm saying? All because of these officers here happen to be white. Now, these officers here that's black, they're going to be made an example of. You see how fast they got fired?
Yeah.
Did you?
It wasn't even a conversation.
No,
I'm talking about they fired them with a blink of eye.
They didn't put them on no desk duty, did they?
No, ain't no desk duty.
No desk
No
duty. You know, usually you go on desk duty until they do an investigation,
exactly.
Right?
When you're not black, you do. Because even though they are black officers, they still supposed to be the form of the blue. Yeah, but it seems to me they done threw them brothers under the bus already in the gate with no exception. They ain't played no games because, let me share this with you. While that was heinous, right? It was. What they did to Brother Nicholas was nothing more horrendous than the chump that shot Laquan McDonald 16 times. He jumped out of his car and he was intoxicated, jumped out of his car, shot that young man 16 times, dropped the clip and put another one in and trying to reload.
Right.
Had he not been stopped. And yet, you know, he got 3 years. But now, see this, because this is black. And they always talk about the black on black crime and a black on black this. So now you say, okay, these black officers, now what's going on? And you telling me the power of the PU, I got to say it, the power of the vagina led to this. That's what happened.
Raymond, but is it the way that they're trained?
Yes.
And the reason I'm asking this is because in instances when men of color, and I'm not going to just say men of color because I've surfed YouTube and I've seen some men of some Caucasian men who definitely got their behinds kicked by the police. I mean, brutally. Okay, so I'm not saying I shouldn't say men of color. My thing is, Is it the way they are trained? Because it seems like get on the ground, get on the ground. Didn't I tell you to get on the ground? And you're down on the ground and you're still hollering, get on the ground.
Them
It's
drills.
something within the training.
Well, them drills that they do all the time, for one. Them just
Okay.
drills they do.
Okay.
And they already had a preconceived plan before they
Okay.
stopped this young man.
I'm glad you said that, right?
It was already etched what they were gonna do, how they was gonna do it, and that's why they kept saying. That's why you couldn't hardly see it in the body cam like you supposed to, because they was covering up so many different, trying to cover up so many different parts. Not they unbeknownst, it was a camera right across the way that got everything. And get on the ground. He's not following the law. He's not following the rules. Right? Try to cover it up. So when they did what they did, they could be justified. They could be justified. You know what I'm saying?
A number at the end of the day, and that number states that.
Hold on. This is the wrong video. I'm sorry.
Side.
Wrong video. Wrong one.
It was a good one though, but
I hope
And
I
it
know
ain't
it's a good one, but that's not the one.
what they
I'm
did
looking for
was
the video,
what they-
of
what
the
they did,
video.
Professor, was
Yeah.
they figured, and this is just my thinking, it's my opinion. Hell, the white officers get away with it. Why can't we? Because they forgot where they was at. See, it goes back to the good old boys concept. Am I right, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely.
The good old boys concept where they think that they in. Just because they police, that don't mean they in the club. They just
Well-
officers of the law. And they pulled that stunt. And when they pulled that stunt, they didn't think it was going to backfire like it did, but it backfired. And it was all over a young lady. And see, that's sad, that this young man did nothing but a routine stop. He did nothing. He didn't even resist.
Right.
He put his hands up.
Unfortunately,
Hey, what's going on here? What have I done? He's supposed to got nothing but a ticket, right? And a warning, and been sent on his way. If that's a traffic stop, right?
yeah,
How a
unfortunately,
traffic stop lead to you dying? And then we want to talk about building a relationship. There is ain't no way you can build a relationship with 12. There's no way. Because stuff like this always comes up.
Absolutely, and our people are the ones who wind up being used as scapegoats
Exactly.
in the national media, because a number of years ago, it was proven that hate groups were infiltrating our law enforcement agencies and using those agencies.
Okay, hold on. I don't want you to play yet. I'm sorry.
Damn, I didn't do anything.
Take it out.
See?
Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. Hold the ground. Hey, you don't do that, okay? Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Traffic stop.
Raise your ass. All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down.
Now he complying all the way.
Please stay on the ground. I think tase you. Get on the ground. Lay down. One. Now. I'm tasing. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, dude. Damn. Put your hands on your back. Put your hands on your back for a break. Okay, stop. I'm gonna knock your ass. Hey, you guys are really doing a lot right now.
Bro, lay down.
I'm just trying
Yes.
to go home.
Lay down.
Man, if you don't lay down, I am on the ground. Put your hands on your stomach. I got you. You ready? Okay. Get the fuck back. Stop! I'm not doing it.
See how they covered it up?
Yeah.
So you can't really see nothing right there. But that camera
Right.
across the street caught it all. But just to
You
hear
know,
what
I
they're saying.
tried to let me remove this off the screen. I tried to download the ones where the camera. Hold on, let me take this out. Okay, I tried to download the ones where the camera caught them from across the street, and I wasn't able to.
Right.
It just wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me download. Every time I put it in the app, what happened? Sorry about that. Every time I put it in the app to download it, it told me that the file was corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And but
those were the ones that you could see really clear.
and you probably didn't want to see them anyway, because I seen some of it and just stopped it. But as you can hear that, you can hear the unprofessionalism of the police. You can hear the sarcasm of the police. You can hear the vendetta that the police had against this young man. You can hear that. That's because they ain't saying nothing police on there. Get your on the ground. Hurry up. Get on the stomach. I'll kill you.
But
I'll
what
beat you.
I'm
All they
saying to
saying.
you, what I'm saying to you, this video from some of the other videos I've heard, even like if you listen to Laquan McDonald and some of the other videos, they're stopped. And these are white cops. The
Mm-hmm.
dialogue is the same. So that's
Yes.
why I'm asking, is it the way that they're trained? Is it something that they embed in their minds when they
No,
train them?
I think they look for a specific type of person to put in the force in the first place when they're going through training through the screening process. That if you have certain dispositions, then you don't even make the force in the first place. That's why you have such a buddy system when it comes down to it, because if the people have been in the military together or whatever else, they're more than likely to reach out and say, "Well, I got a friend," and bring those people in, and then they become little cliquish groups that have each other's backs and whatever. So, and they use the uniform and the weapons or whatever to go out and put fear into people and do what they want to do and not be penalized for it. So
Yep.
the train means um, does that person actually have a desire to help black people by being an officer, control black people by being an officer? Because those 5 officers are not going to be in the white community in Memphis patrolling nobody.
And to your point, Kalo, I know you were
Uh-huh.
saying, were they trained like that?
Hmm.
They were trained in a system that replicates that, right?
Right.
Okay.
But as you being black, you saying to yourself, I wouldn't do that. This is what they're saying. I wouldn't do that. But after so long, it's like a learned behavior, right? Like they were taught racism. They was
Hmm.
taught, so now this behavior in the police department, it spills out. Now, don't spill out on all, but it spills out on most. There's a few good cops, but it's a lot of bad cops. And right there, you just seen the depiction of a lot of bad cops. And majority of them was black this time, right? But it's that
Yes, they were.
psychologically, what you saying is absolutely right, Katie Lowe. It's the same behavior, whether it's
Right.
white or black. It is the same behavior, Katie. And you're absolutely right. But in this instant, it just happened to be this time the majority black doing this. And this was premeditated. I want you to understand that too. This was all premeditated because this didn't just happen as a random stop. Again, I want the people to understand this. This brother was followed from wherever he came from. He was followed. You know how the police do surveillance on you? They
Okay.
did surveillance on this young brother because look how quick they all came together. Now, all 5 of them didn't ride in that car. Think about it,
Nope.
Kalo. All
Oh
5 of
no,
them
it
didn't
was
ride in
more
no
than
one
one
car.
police car. It was more than one police car.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know,
I said from the beginning.
that's what I'm just saying.
It's
So
5 different cars, maybe more than that.
how many times do you need 5? Now one will pull up, then he'll call the others, right? That's routine. Am I right?
Right.
That is
You
When you
wonder,
got it's 2 or 3 cars come at the same time to stop this young brother. jumping out, like you said at first, Katie Lowe, in the beginning, they gave him about 70-some orders to do at one time. How the hell I'm gonna do that? I don't even know what to do the first order. The first one say remain silent. So if I try to remain silent, you know, then they beat. Then I say get on the ground. So I don't know how to. I don't know if I remain silent, get on the ground. If I put my hands behind my back, because I don't know what's gonna happen now. Because it's like I'm finna die. Now I'm petrified. So now I'm trying to survive, and that's why he started screaming, I just want to go home. Now this 3 blocks from his house. Three houses from his house, from what they're saying. Right, Kayla? And you're doing all this commotion, all this stuff you're doing, like they say they're doing the most. You ran a red light. You disobeyed a turn signal or something. Something need to be said. What did you hear?
Nothing.
What did you hear? That's all you got to do is think about it. What did you hear them say?
But you know what bothers me? You know what bothers me, and it just eats at the core of my soul. How can you just kick and beat a human when they're down?
Mm-hmm. And what you said,
what you said, 5 people kicked and beat this one human.
Katie Lowe, you just gave out another nugget. Then he took a picture, and what did he do? He sent it to that girl. This is what I'm gonna do today. You can't have nobody else. Anybody you mess with.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He took the picture and sent it to the girl, right?
Uh-huh.
This is what he's telling her. Anybody get caught messing with you, this what I do to him. Not Beyonce. He didn't know that this young man's about to die. They just thought they was gonna rough him up real good and show him stay away from that girl. That's what he wanted. It wasn't about no police stop. Let's keep it real. It was about that young lady. That's all it was over.
What does that
it was over that young lady. That's how they found him, and they tracked that brother.
Yeah, but what does that put you in the mind of, Raymond? Out here in the street in Chicago or whatever.
That's like stalking, eh?
Stalking and what else? I mean, when you go over in the Spanish neighborhood, and then they stalk you in and rough you up or whatever, and they try to send a message.
You don't have to be in a Spanish neighborhood.
You're in the wrong part of territory.
You can be in your own neighborhood and
you're in the wrong part of territory.
It don't have to be police officers.
Go ahead, Pat.
No,
what's it?
That was my question, Raymond.
I understand what he's saying.
It's not debatable. I'm trying to draw the distinction between the police acting like thugs and
like you're in a gun. You're a gang. You're a thug. Right. You're right. You're in the wrong territory. Right.
It's exactly what you're looking at. Thug behavior. It ain't got a damn thing to do with protecting and serving. Nothing. Don't care. Not a thing. You can't find it no way, no whatever color the officers are, or whatever. Now they're gonna take it and blow it up naturally because black officers and you in the time of the time. And the national government that you got in control in this country right now is pro-police. And they're trying to figure out a way to justify what the police have been doing to people, and they want to continue allowing them to do. So if they take these black officers and put them out there and say, okay, don't just put it on us. It's not racism. It's not bigotry. It's like y'all doing it too. And so, and naturally, that's why you got them being flashed all over the news and immediate action being taken against them or whatever. People have killed folks and walked around and walked away from it and been free and put on desk duty and everything else until such time that they had the day in court. These guys haven't been even afforded that constitutional right yet. And so, anyway, opinion-wise, we can sit here and surmise, but reason-wise, there is a underlying reason much deeper and much bigger than what went on in Memphis. And I'm through talking about that.
Yeah. And it's been nationalized that the police departments are just another form of gangs.
Yeah,
Nobody trusts them now.
and
Nobody
military.
trusts them. And what you're gonna
I'm not.
have
I'm
is
not.
a
I want to say that I don't think that all police officers, and it's because I know quite a few, and I know that they're not like this,
and I
and not like some of the other cops that I've
mm-hmm.
seen doing things on video. Okay, I know some personally. I have some that are very good friends. I have been stopped. I haven't had this experience. Thank you, Jesus, and I hope that I never will. But I know that all cops are not like this.
Of course,
And we're not saying that. We're
no, we're
just
not
saying
saying
that all that stuff that just happened, it
Yeah.
tainted police officers everywhere. Not just
especially
somewhere,
black ones.
everywhere. And these young brothers and sisters out there in the streets, this is a young generation.
Yes, it
They
is.
say F12, right? They don't
Yes.
have no respect for 12. And this is why they don't have respect for them, because they don't show no leadership. Only thing they show is disrespect. If you keep showing me disrespect, then I'm gonna start disrespecting you back. And this is what
Well, to
this
me, now, if this tweet is true, these are five punks. These are five cowards. These
yeah.
are five men who have no right to wear a badge and should
Mm-hmm.
have never worn one. If that
And,
tweet that's out there is true, that
and
is
but
what
guess
you
what?
call a game.
And guess what, Kate Lowe? It's a
Yeah.
few of them that's been in drug deals too. All that's gonna come up.
Oh
One of them is
wow.
supposed to be linked to the rapper Dolph murder. So it's a lot of stuff is gonna come out and hit the surface. But the moral of the story is it's sad when we can't trust the people who sworn to uphold the law. So we don't know who
Absolutely.
to trust. We getting duped every end. Like Malcolm said, we getting duped from the left, we getting duped from the right. So now what our young people are finna do, they finna be they got their mindsets is to attack. Because guess what? If you don't attack, you're gonna get killed. And if you pull over, you're gonna die. So now it's gonna be high speed chases, all this stuff going on because they say, no, we don't trust you. It ain't nothing that you can tell me that's gonna make me trust you from now on. Every time I turn on the news, y'all talking about we killing each other. Y'all killing us just as fast as we kill each other. So we don't trust y'all either. So y'all the ops as well as everybody on the streets is the ops.
But
And now
Raymond,
that's
don't
gonna
you
cause
think?
a major problem. And we talk about this time and time again. They need police training. They need this. They need that. They ain't did nothing. They haven't stopped nothing since this stuff has started. And it's a shame. It's a damn shame that we got to keep going through this again, here again. And now this young man is flawless, as you can say. He don't got a background. He ain't did nothing. A simple stop. You killed him over that young lady. Let's keep it real. That's what they did. They killed him
Okay,
over that young lady.
I wanted to
That was
ask
a
you, but
gang act. That was an act of gang violence. That's what I'm gonna call
yeah,
it.
I was
An
going
act of
to ask
gang
you.
violence.
I was going to ask you, do you think that this is an isolated incident?
Yeah.
No,
No.
Well, I'm gonna say yes.
no.
Okay.
I'll let Professor say his version and I'll tell you
Okay.
mine. Go ahead,
All right.
Professor.
Okay.
No, because it happens. It happens a lot, and that's what I prefaced at the beginning of the show. And I said, "Who's policing the police?" And that
Mm,
these groups and organizations are using the uniforms and the weapons to go into houses, claiming they're busting drug dealers, robbing people. That's what they do. And it's
mm-hmm.
numerous incidents, and people in the community are afraid to go and complain against them because when they do complain, the police department doesn't discipline the officers. They put it in a complaint file, and then the officers are left out there still patrolling and, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and harassing the public. No, it's not isolated. It's just an incident that happens to be in a timely sense, lining up with some things nationally from the president's office all the way down to the lowest police officer in the smallest town. And when you put it in your mind correctly, and in the order that it's in, then you'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay, and I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying on this isolation incident is, and let me piggyback on what you were saying, because I do know that it's no different if you look at it, Katie Lowe. If you snitch on the streets, you get killed, right? Snitches get
Yep.
stitches, right? That's what they say, right?
That's what they say.
And now it's the same thing in the police department as well. So now, like as a professor was saying, now if I go to the station and complain and say, Officer Raymond has been harassing me repeatedly, okay, well, we'll put it in our files. They ain't did no, like he said, there was no discipline. They just made a note of it. But Officer Raymond's back on the street. Now Officer Raymond gets to circle around back to me. Oh, you thought that was going to be what I tell you. Now I'm finna get you. Or he'll send his comrades, right? Now he'll send his
Yep.
comrades to get you and make your life a living hell. They'll mess with you all kind of ways, and not just you, your family. Now the reason why I say it was an isolated incident is because of the young lady. Okay, the young lady comes in the picture, right? And they working together, and they hanging out, they laughing, they joking, and she found the young man compatible with her, and as opposed to now he's a sugar daddy basically. He paying her to sleep with her or whatever, but she finds this young man more attractive. Now he gets wind of it, and he's gonna
I
make
thought
an
they
example.
said, did they say that was his ex-girlfriend?
It
Yeah.
could have been, but this is what I'm
I
saying.
thought they said it was an officer's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So this
Baby
is he's
mama or
gonna make an
something.
example out of this young man for messing with his ex-girlfriend or whatever he called himself doing, right? And this is why I said it was isolated in an incident of that, but it was actually what Professor was saying as well, because at the end of the day, this is predicated on and on and on and on, and it comes from a different source that we don't even have no inkling of where it comes from, because there's more hands, like he said, there's more hands in it than we can even imagine. And so now, who's going to be the fall guy? The 5 blacks. They're going to be the fall guys. That's who's going to be the fall guys for this one. So we're gonna switch it up.
But why
Y'all always
wouldn't they
talk
be?
white officers.
Listen, why wouldn't they be the fall guy? Now this is just hypothetical because I don't know that this is true. That was a last minute breaking news thing that I got right before we got ready to come on and do the show. That the reason that this happened was over a female. So my thing is, why wouldn't they be the fall guy? The female was I guess it broke off with one of the black officers
Mm-hmm.
and chose to have an affair with Terry Nichols.
Right. But what I'm saying here is the overall is they could have sent anyone to stop them.
No, I don't believe it was set that way. I think they meant to do this.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what we're saying. It was premeditated.
So that what I'm saying, they should be the fall guy.
No,
No.
Nobody
We
should be
did
the
that,
fall
but
guy.
I'm saying this is what I mean when I say fall guy, K-Lo.
Oh, okay.
They're saying now they tired of the white officer always being in the news. Now they finna put the black officers. Now they did. You was that dumb to do that? We finna put you right on blast. We don't have no sympathy for you. No, we're not backing you at all. We ain't backing you for this one, because guess what? As he stated earlier, ain't no suspension, no desk duty, ain't none of that. They've been relieved of their duties instantly. Ain't no desk duty until the trial or none of that. They gone.
well,
They got to fend for themselves. But if that was a white cop, he'd still be getting. They probably ain't getting no money now. And that was my thing. I was gonna say to you guys was,
Well,
this is what I'm working on.
they shouldn't be. Anytime you take a human being and just treat him like a rag and kick him and beat him and mace him for no reason at all, you don't deserve taxpayers' money.
And this is what I was saying with the law. I'm trying to help get that law changed and legislation that doing a victim of violence from the police, that the victim family receives that officer's pension, and that officer be held accountable for his actions. So if he took a life, he is charged with murder. But along with that murder charge, we want to give that his pension to the family of the victim.
And it
And
shouldn't
so they
matter
don't
whether
live
you're
rent
black or
free like
white.
George Burge and all of them did for so many years. They still had their pensions, you know. So
Well,
that's what I'm protesting. That's what I'm trying to
I'm
put
just
together
saying,
legislation.
in a case when you brutalize somebody for no reason at all, it shouldn't matter whether you are black or white. If you did the crime, you should do the time.
I agree.
That's it, but it's not true. I wish it
No,
was that easy.
but it's not cut and dry like that. Let me tell you the real fall. The real fall guy um, is. Am I talking about myself?
Did you all stop talking?
Well, no, and when are you all? I'm just sitting here waiting for y'all to come back. Well,
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. I had someone at the door, and I thought Raymond was still on here talking once I
no.
left. But
Well, let me say this, and then I'm gonna be through with it. The real fall guys are the honest police officers that are going to be uh, washed into this whole situation because the
Oh,
trust factor is going to be across the board.
uh-huh.
The real fall guys is an African American community that had hope that we were making headway in law enforcement, that we would have people who would be out there and protect us. And there are some officers out there who are doing that. We have brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins in law enforcement areas that are doing their jobs. But they're going to be broad brushed in this whole process and taken to be, the every time they show up with a uniform on, that they could possibly be one of those five guys. And so the real fall guys are the honest guys who want to make a difference and want to help black people and want to protect and serve. They're the fall guys. The other guys are criminals. They committed a criminal act. They need to be treated like criminals. We got them on film doing it. Whatever reason they did it, it was wrong. But what about the guys who haven't done anything at all? They're going to be punished because of this, and nobody's going to try to cooperate with them or listen to them and put them out there, in left field somewhere. And that's actually what the national politics wants to happen. So I hate to see that. The real fall guys are honest people who are educated, who have minds to do what's right and want to do what's right. They're the Raymonds. They're the people who've gone and paid for whatever they did, and they want to try to come back and do things for the community. And they are not going to be afforded the trust and support because of stuff like this. And it's a deliberate effort to take away our credibility again.
yeah, man. I concurred with that because at the end of the day, I got a lot of law enforcement in my family, and I know they're not bad. But at the end of the day, with what's going on right now, I pray for my own family because they could become victims of something that these crooked, corrupt cops have done, and they tainted it. I remember back like in the streets, when we was gang banging, they would go and do a hit. Don't tell nobody about the hit.
Right.
And come back and don't nobody know nothing. So when the retaliation came, we had all the good guys they got killed because of these crooked cats when it did something and didn't tell nobody about it. So
Right.
it's the same way, man. It's so sad. But like you said, at the end, they lose because these good cats out here trying to help change. What about the ones starting mentoring programs? Now they're going to be saying, Families gonna be saying, "Don't go to that program. Don't go to that program. Them police." But all of them is not like that. But unfortunately, from what you're starting to see and continuously see, it's tainted. It's tainted. You don't nobody want to touch it. And then anytime I build Lori Lightfoot, about build a reform with the police and all these other ordinary polices and mayors around the city, it's over with. I can just tell you like that. It ain't gonna happen, and it's gonna be a war. It's gonna come back to what Fred Hampton Sr. said. These pigs, they got to keep their hand. They can't be hurting our people. We got to protect our people. But
that's right.
Who is the we?
Okay, let's wrap it up. Everybody get their last 60 seconds. Let's wrap it up.
I'm just gonna say, justice will never be served because a life was lost.
I'm just gonna say that there is no cut and dry solution to a non-conscious public persona that we are not of such non-worth that we can be used and put up and used as an example and continually lynched in the public. Case closed.
Okay, listen, I thank everybody for tuning in to Opinions. This is Katie Lowe, Rhythm Flow Radio live stream right here on Meta, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Spreaker. I want to say that all cops are not bad. I want to say that all cops are not good. I want to say that we are all human. This is just my opinion. I believe that this incident is so far isolated. The tweet that I showed you earlier, I hope that tweet is the truth. Because if you serve in law enforcement and you have a vendetta against somebody, getting your buddies together in a game and going out and stopping them and beating them and misusing them is not the way to settle a disagreement. If you have a disagreement with the woman, settle that disagreement with the woman, not with the man. Because a man will only go as far as a woman will let him, and vice versa. That is my opinion, and my name is Katie. Have a happy Monday, everybody. We thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, too.
Any evidence of things not.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. I'll be hollering at you later, right?
All right. Have a good evening.
Yeah.